All right, hey folks, welcome back from the weekend. We are going to continue working on the art assets for Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. Let me check my signal here. I'll go through my intro spiel, and then we're gonna get to work here for a couple hours. So let's see, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, mic check. Sounds like I'm coming through A-OK. So I'm gonna boost my signal across the internet here for a moment, and hopefully distract you with entertaining words of my origin story. Sure, why not? Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. I have been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since the release of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. That was, I think, back in 2017. And I wanted to have something that had a color mana from Magic the Gathering, and I figured Ravnica was going to do it, and it didn't. So that started me on the path of creating content and publishing it to provide the tools that I want to have in my games so that other people can have them in theirs as well. So you can check in the link down below. There's a slew of work that I've already published on DMsGuild.com, including the color mana spell point variant rules. All my stuff has extensive free previews. So if you check out all the stuff that's linked down below, there's probably about 150 different illustrations that I've created over the course of the past few years. And we're going to be adding this book to that collection very, very soon. So let's see here. Just posted. Okay, so I've got a Discord channel here. Cheers. You can see a link to that. I keep refreshing the link over on my Patreon, so you can check in the description down below for that. Thanks a lot to the Spelljammer Preservation Society for taking an interest in the work that I do. You guys are always asking me great questions and helping inspire me to continue to grow. Just posted I'm on Twitter. If you're still on the Twitter X platform, you can follow me at Phil Kearney if you're interested. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We have more subscribers than before. Hey, Bill's mom, it's good to see you, my guy. Like, subscribe, get a bell icon to get notification when we're live in the future. Here is a full playlist of all the previous episodes. It says episode 316, but we also have our Spelljammer Eberron campaign development stream hidden away in here, so there's probably actually more like around 320 episodes. So, I mean, tomato, tomato. Let's see, Discord community is, I need to update that. Yeah, I'll have an update to this. You can already go to my Patreon. And in the About page over here is we now have an Everfresh link that we're providing. So each week we're going in, we're just updating it here as part of my general maintenance on the Patreon site. So what do? I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. So you know it's going to be on DM's Guild when it's done. This is 100 some odd pages of mechanics for combat, exploration, and spellcasting. Basically taking 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, the DMG, and the Player's Handbook sections on combat, spellcasting, and exploration, and basically translating them for use into the ship mechanics that we have. And the last 20 some odd pages of this is a conversion guide to Light of Xaryxis, so that you can use Spelljammer's Adventures in Space. They had an adventure that they released with the Spelljammer rules as a showcase for how you would be able to have a Spelljammer adventure. We take all the rules that we have in this supplement and we apply them to Light of Xaryxis so that you can see how these mechanics will change your games based off of the adventure that they created to showcase the setting in the first place. So whenever I'm releasing stuff, I want to provide examples of how this stuff can be applied to your game. If it's player options, I want to provide sample player characters and NPCs. If it's a setting, I want to provide samples of how an adventure would work in that setting so that you can grab it, grok it, and run with it, make it your own. So we're currently in the process. We're going to pick up our Saturday workbench and continue working through the word I'm looking for is the Light of Xaryxis appendix is broken into 4 separate parts. We had finished section 3 on Friday last week and started in on section 2. I'm still building section 4, and so we're working backwards from 3, 2, 1, and by the time I'm done with 1, number 4 will be done. And I have updates on that. So my goal that I had stated on Friday was to have the fourth section, the fourth part of Light of Xaryxis done before bed tonight, Monday. So this is the 5th, if you're in the Wayback Machine. This is February 5, 2024. I've got about 10 days left for me to publish this thing. Technically the timeline I gave myself was supposed to be the 13th, so I have like 8 days left. We'll see if I hit that or not. Currently I'm working like on a D6 plus 9 days. But so we've been working on it. We've got this page. This page looks ugly, but the text is right. I just need to fix the map, which we'll get to when we come back around to the chapter. I've successfully built in the blocks for where, like, here's the system battle map here, which is just a box right now. Here's a box that we have broken down for a top side view of the Citadel of Light. Here's a box for a underside view of the Citadel of Light, and of course these are all assets that are provided in higher detail in the supplement as a zip file. So if you buy the thing, you get high resolution stuff. So you get to see what we're doing here in the preview, but you'll actually be able to use the assets that we created if you purchase. So that's an incentive for people to actually pick the thing up. So we have the top side and bottom side of the Citadel because a fleet could attack either one of them. We have, you don't see it yet because we need to drop in the assets, but we have all the information that we need for the Armada battle and actually attempting to attack the Citadel. We have the Flitter Defense Force and the Trebuchet Towers that defend it. The objective is the Temple of Light, so we're statting out the temple. And then, of course, once you land on the temple, once you land on the Citadel and you disembark from your ship to go interact with the NPCs at the 5-foot scale, then that's what leads you out of that. So then we have successes and fail states inside of the adventure, which this should probably actually be in front of landing on the Citadel, because you're either going to land on the Citadel because you're victorious and they're surrendering, or because you failed the assault and instead either get captured or sneak on using Garganhael's invisibility feature. These are all things that you could do. And then the next steps. And back here is our workbench where we're statting out stuff and old ideas that need to be filtered in here. So we have the layouts for everything done. And now we have to go through and actually just wordsmith all this stuff so it fits properly, but I see it now. This past 4 days, I've been actually just fighting with the formatting to see how am I supposed, because I want to have the adventure content here coincide with the order of content that is actually in the adventure for Light of Xaryxis. So we go here, and then we go to Light of Xaryxis, and then we go to the end here. Part 4, Chapter 10 is where we're at right now, Space Invaders. So we have the arrival in Xaryxis space for the system map, and then there's attacking the Citadel, which is the great finale battle that I'm presenting. Of course, there's also the sword fight that you have later on. Spoilers alert. But yeah, this is the last ship. This is like the finale of ship combat, which is appropriate because you're fighting the Xaryxian Armada. And then there's the battle losses, and here be dragons. See each of these sections, and then the final approach. I didn't have to, but I wanted to structure this to have the same language and layout as they're presenting here, so you can just go to what's going on with here there be dragons, scroll down here, and this is where we've started, and we need to finish it, but this is where we started the here there be dragon section. Here's the final approach presentation. So we get the final approach where it's talking about actually like getting within range of attack of the Citadel, and then the dragons are there to prevent you from doing it, and then there's the actual Citadel itself, which is attacking the Citadel, Xaryxian Armada, final approach, and then we have the wild space system, which we can mostly skip, but it then goes into the Citadel. So we're trying to keep the same order throughout the document as they have here in the book. And once we get to the end of this, then it's what's your next steps? Go on to chapter 11 and finish out the adventure by facing off against your foes and save the universe. So, or your home world anyway. So we've successfully restructured the information so it's coinciding and aligned with the content that's presented in the actual published adventure, which is a huge victory because we already had a lot of the tech built out, but we have to update the language because we've just it's been 6 months since I've played with these pages, since the playtesting had finished. So it needs updates. We've become more proficient in how to express this system with all the squadron map updates and all that stuff. We have a common language now and a formatting that's concise for us to be able to express combat statistics using this fleet system. So now we get to propagate it. We've replicated it here with the Xaryxian Armada, and then we just drop a square here, a map page of the Star Moth squadrons. So, long story short, we're making progress. I don't know if I'll have those last 3 pages done by the end of today, but I'm also not going to have part 2 and 1 done today either. So if I can have that done and us processing section 4 by Wednesday, we're going to be looking good, because then all we have to do is start just dumping images into the document. I need to hyperlink everything so that when you click on something, it'll take you to the proper page, and so we can have a table of content set up on the side. With 100 pages in the document, we need to have hyperlinked table of content, so it's easy for you to navigate around the document, because just scrolling is, if you've been in 100 some odd page PDF before, scrolling sucks. You have to hyperlink the fuck out of it, which is why I want to have this navigation bar down the bottom here. We're going to build each one of these so that no matter what page you're on, if you click on one of these buttons, it'll take you to the beginning of that chapter. That can often, as you become familiar with the document, that will become faster than potentially even clicking on the navigation on the navigation rail over on the side on the PDF, depending on where you need to go. But there's going to be subsections that are linked throughout each chapter as well. So you can use these big buttons just to mutt your way to the page that you need to be on. But then you can pop up with the table of contents, and it has, I'll take you to the table. It's not strung up yet. Once Light of Xaryxis is completed, then my off-screen time, instead of converting Light of Xaryxis, is going to be spent trussing up all the hyperlinks. But here's the table of content. So here's all the different mechanics and rules that we have that are hyperlinked. So this will all be on the rail on the left-hand side of the PDF. So it'll make it incredibly easy for you to be able to navigate through the document to find the things that you need. And we even have the Light of Xaryxis broken down by section, or by each of its parts. So it's going to be really easy for you to be able to kick around inside the document, to be able to cross-reference information if you don't recall how it works exactly, or if you don't have your own ruling that you want to implement yourself. So, having said all that, let's actually get to work. So we're going to be here for another hour and a half, probably. I've got some stretch time this morning. I don't have to stop immediately at 8 o'clock, but I do need to stop before 9. So I'm going to take some sip of coffee. Let's jam some spells. We'll look at spellcasting soon enough. I'm really happy with it. Hold on real quick, because I was watching Alpha Stream's playthrough of the Neverwinter module for Light of Xaryxis this morning, and 5e Blight. It occurred to me, because there's the Elves of Xaryxis in the Neverwinter Nights game can reduce your air supply in your ship, and that made me think, what kind of effects would you have that would potentially foul somebody's air supply as an attack? And that makes a really good use of the word of the spell Blight. So necromancy energy washes over a creature of your choice. It deals necrotic damage. If you target a plant creature or a magical plant, it can make a saving throw with disadvantage, and the spell deals maximum damage to it. Magical plant that isn't a creature, such as a tree or shrub, it doesn't make a saving throw. It simply withers and dies. So if you were to amplify a Blight spell and hit a ship with it, the creatures of what is it? It's a instant. Necromantic energy washes over a creature of your choice. So you could hit, if you hit Blight, if you hit a spell with an amplified spell, you could hit it with Blight. It's not going to increase the damage it deals. We don't increase damage when you scale up a spell, but it does allow you to affect a larger area, or instead of like an individual creature, you can affect a craft, or with 2 spell slots, you can affect an entire vessel. So you can upscale stuff. Whoa, we got Doodle hanging out. What's up, little Doodle? Yeah, so you can amplify a spell so it doesn't make the damage go off the charts. Like, otherwise people would just lob a fireball at Waterdeep and it would destroy the entire city. That doesn't make any sense. But you can increase the area that the fireball would hit. And yeah, that would cause potential damage to anybody that's out on the street. But Waterdeep has, you know, klaxons and stuff. Like, if there's an air raid, people are familiar with fantasy magic. Like, if a dragon were to actually attempt to attack the city, then people would know to get indoors to stay safe from it. Same sort of thing with a fireball. By definition, fireball doesn't catch stuff on fire if it's tended to, and you could consider buildings in the community to be tended to, unless that ship scales down to the point where they're actually interacting with the buildings at the same scale that the buildings sit inside of. If you want to catch a hut on fire with a fireball, you need to be at the 5 or 50 foot scale so that you can personally target that building and hit it and potentially catch it on fire. If you're up in orbit and you lob a fireball at Waterdeep, Waterdeep itself may be hit by a fireball and could cause some damage. But it certainly wouldn't be like a mile worth of area. It's much more limited than that, and it wouldn't increase the scale of damage. It would just deal that damage to all the people that are inside of it, which is what Fireball already does. So, but of course, you know, a city that's Spelljammer savvy, would have defenses against that sort of thing, because you have to have defenses against that sort of thing if you're going to have it in your world. So, like dispel screens. Siege weapons. Like, people are like, why is there a siege tower in like the middle of the city, like 2,500, like half a mile away from shoreline when the boats are going to attack? Why would it be here? Because most citizens don't think about aerial attacks, but you have to have towers and defense points all throughout your community to be able to defend against aerial threats, which is a very large, like, spelljamming ships are no different from dragons attacking your town. If you can ward away dragons, you can ward away ships. The way that spells work is that the ship is going to have to get close enough, kind of like a dragon, to actually be able to engage with you. You can be identified, you can be hunted, you can be attacked. And plus they have like 500-foot colossal towers, which is going to be fun for us to stat out after this gets released, so we can have the Waterdeep defense module, explaining all the defenses. Anyway, I rambled on, but this would be a fun way. This blight spell would be able to. The point is that you deal damage to the ship, and if they fail their saving throw, you would then befoul their air supply, and everyone would be poisoned as a result of it. Like, I think there's a contagion you could do the same thing with. You could amplify a cloud kill spell and just completely fuck their entire air supply. Fun stuff we could do. Anyway, I've been rambling. So yeah, we build out the document. We create the holes in the illustration in the Word document, and we then so we go back down here to where we're at, looking for flaws as we move forward. But, so yeah, we drop illustrations into the places that they belong. And once they're all inserted into the document, we're done. And we can seal it up into a PDF and send it out. So let's see, where are we at right now? We made this cover back around episode 15, so you can check that out in the full playlist here. But peeling that aside, here are the pages that we're working on currently. When we last left off, I had some errors in the text here because I hadn't created any space to accommodate Garganhail on this Grave Alliance page. So we spent time off screen on Saturday and remolded the text in the on the page to accommodate that stuff. So we went ahead and finished off that page off screen. Pretty simple to do, but here we have Garganhail the pirate. And he has information. The reason you want Garganhail is because he's seen Dune Space casually during previous visit. He can navigate to the system in 7 days, or he could roll 2d8. And Garganhail has viewed Xaryxis space once. while tracking Xaryxian star moths through the astral sea. And he can travel to that system in 12 days, or you can roll 3d10. So again, the more familiar with a location you are, the faster you can get there. If you have Zadali on your team, then getting there is super easy. Here we have our, look, a princess. So she wakes up. You can, like we were talking about on Saturday, whether you rescue her from the ship by taking the ship over, or the explosion caused by the powder keg the gunpowder blowing up in the catapult at the back of the ship when the pirates attempt to attack back at you attempting to board them. They blow a hole in the brig, which allows the princess to float out unconsciously and automatically aligns with your gravity plane and becomes part of the flotsam that's just floating in your air envelope. So when you finish fighting the pirate ship, whether they get away or you secure it, you have access to the princess. So even if you fail, you still have the princess, even though the ship got away. So you don't. That's a choke point in the plot, that you have to get into the brig to get the princess. This way you don't. So even if you destroy or the ship escapes, you still get Zadali. And Zadali has a lot of information. Hold on, let's scroll down. Princess Zadali is very familiar with Xaryxis space. If the characters agree to take her home, she can navigate them to the system in 3 days. So she can get you there super fast, which is super useful. Once you pick up Warwick Blastimov, he is also very familiar with Xaryxis space. So having Warwick on your team is going to be super useful. If you don't, you backslide to Garganhail. If you don't have Garganhail, you backslide to Topola's map. So you go from very familiar to visited once to seen casual to a description only. And so those are the 4 different degrees of familiarity you can have with the system. So depending on the goals and the alliances that the team makes during the course of the adventure, you gain better, you can move from one system to the other faster. So this is highlighting that idea by leaning into the narrative of each of the characters in the adventure. And of course, none of this stuff is imagined in the Wizards of the Coast release. So it's useful stuff. So anyway, there you go. That's why you want to get this, because it has like useful stuff like that. So here we're looking at, I'm working from the backwards forward. So let's see, here's Garganhail's fleet. When you run across it, you can do a salvage check by making an investigation check. And depending on the results of the DC is all the stuff that you can find among the wreckage, including there is the possibility that you'll lose the second wind altogether. And if you do, you can salvage a space galleon that you can either repair there on site if you know the mending spell, or you can take it back to Topola's tower for repair and then be able to set out again. Let's see, Old Flame, Garganhail conducting the encounter. Okay, so here's the Big Mama hunt. And on the previous page, which we'll get to in a minute, it walks through the map. But we need to have created space here for attacking Big Mama. So I'm going to go into the open. We're going to go into our creature tokens. Done. Tokens. Creatures. Let's go find Scavers. Is this one, right? The gray Scaver, or is it a void? I'm pretty sure it's a gray. Hold on, let's go find out. I don't remember. Reopen. Da, 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 da. Void Scaver. So there's your token for during the Omama hunt. All right, now we're getting into some meat and taters here. Let's see. Living on the edge. Topola's tower. Obtaining Topola's help. So we encounter Topola. We put her in an asteroid field. So to make the Omama challenge more interesting, we created a map to place around Topola's tower here. And these are different points that the scaver can visit during the adventure. So there's 6 points. You can roll a d6 for where the scaver will show up first. Let's go to... Close that for now. Now let's go to open. Let's go to our map assets. Tokens. Maps. Nope. Interior pages, locks, Mama Hunt. All right, here's the color version of it. 1, 2, let's see what we have to. All right, we did not have numbers yet built for this. We were waiting for us to get to this point in the adventure, in production, to have the right type of number bullets that we would place on the map. This is the color version, and here's the black and white version. And the way that we've been building the actual adventure has been, we've been using black and white system maps, and honestly black and white is easier to visualize when you're working in print like this, I think. So even though we have the color version that we provide, I don't necessarily feel that I should be including this as the map to put on the page for people to... Where'd it go? Hey, Cocaine, how you doing? Let's see. Chaos and Doom Space. No, that's not where we're at. Go to Mama's Hunt. Right. We're just, we keep moving along. We keep building and building. See, I think the black and white, I honestly think, even though most of the book is in color, I've been using black and white on these maps, and I just feel like this is better considering the size of the map on the page, that using black and white only is going to have better visibility on the page because it's small. Just because it's small. So this is me going through the process of should I, shouldn't I? And the answer is I think I should just leave it as is. So this would be the map that we're going to end up putting here in that space here. See, we got a finalized version of it here, a cleaner laser print version of it. So let me see. I want to check my order because I know. So each of these locations has affects the battle with the void scaver. That you basically to get information from Topola. She says, "You're welcome to hang out with me. I'll sage at you for a while, but I need you to chase a fish away or hopefully kill it." And so these are the different points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the different points where the scaver may go to look for food. It's found food at these different points in the past, so it goes back to these points to find that food again. So I need to grab some bullet points 1 through 6. So we're going to go to, we'll just make it easy on ourselves and go to the ship map that we built. That'll probably be the easiest way for us to get through that. Hazard for a ship, and then we'll grab the ship grid because it has numbers on it. that should be pretty easy for us to fish out. So we'll go to the squid ship, dots, vessels, oh, that's not good. There we go. That's what I actually wanted. Dots. I'm going to duplicate those layers and then merge them. I go down here and grab 1 through 6 like this. There. Close off. Do not need. There. So we can replace these dots with these dots. We can actually make these dots bigger. Let's see. Location 1, Topolus Tower. I call this key. Oh, that's where that went. I was wondering about that. Yeah, our old original rough maps. Fun. Fun stuff. All right. So let's see. Key, color. There you go. Look at that. Fucking perfect size. So this is a 50-foot scale. And Topolus Tower sits on a 100-foot by 100-foot island. The tower itself is 50 feet by 50 feet, so I should probably make this just a little bit smaller. There. We'll call this 1. And number 2 is, okay, so number 1, Topolus, it'll zoom in on this so I can tell you guys about each one of these as we go through them. Topolus Tower. Scavengers try to pluck birds from their nests along the underside of the tower. Big Mama has learned that if humanoids are visible outside the tower, they may attack. The wary fish only approaches if the characters can conceal themselves from sight or otherwise set a trap. Number 2, Slumber Rock. For unknown reasons, scavengers like to drift next to this rock while sleeping. If Big Mama is found here, there's a 50% chance she's asleep. So obviously your team is going to get the drop on her by doing so. And this is Slumber Rock right here. She just shows up to take a nap. I love that. It's so silly. What's the problem? Three, abandoned nests. Pelicans used to nest here, but scavengers found them too often. If Big Mama is found here, she is ravenous, making attack rolls with advantage. So that's over here. the way that the encounter is structured in the actual adventure is hold on, I want to put this someplace that's not interposing on other stuff. Oh, oops. Sorry, Charlie. There. Where do I put you? There, that's good enough. Let's see. Number 4, Dwarven Facade. This asteroid appears to have once been part of a massive statue. All that remains is a portion of the dwarven face. If Big Mama is found here, she regurgitates the remains of a dwarf skeleton in a fish suit. Let's see. This is why we do these things. Period. Stone carving tools are drifting along the rock's gravity plane. Topolis says she's never seen anyone exploring the strange rock, if asked. That fish suit works if you want to dig the skeleton out of it. A fish suit that still functions. There. That is number 4. So let's go over here to the Dwarven Facade. This will tie in. Okay, so here's my big brain idea, is that once I finish this document, one of the follow-up projects I want to do is a Dwarven Citadel. Dwarven Citadels are basically asteroids that dwarves colonize and then carve. As they go along, they keep carving its facade to be a work of art while they also hollow out the inside of it, of all the ore and precious material that's inside. And once it's exhausted, they tend to just launch it at something to destroy it, because it's no longer, they'll either keep it as a home, but once its resources are exhausted, it doesn't serve a purpose other than a platform. So if they don't need it anymore, they can use it as a massive catapult stone and lob it at an enemy fortress or something to just utterly obliterate it. So all of this may have at one point been part of that statue, part of that citadel that's been shattered. So once this is published and we publish the book on, we publish a sample citadel. Don't want to make rules for the 500-foot space that the 500-foot cube that the citadel would sit inside of as a battle station to engage with ships in combat with the siege combat that we do. But I can also come back in here, taking the map that we build from the 500-foot citadel, and then have like again, each of these squares is 50 feet. So just this piece of facade here is what, it's 100. This is the size of a boat. So there's definitely space available inside of here for 5-room dungeons. So what I want to do is like this eye, if you know, when we come back in, we can take this map and we can build this out so that if you know the trick, you can use this eye to open up a passage that will lead inside of this facade. So there's a little dungeon space with treasure and stuff inside of there. Any of these things that are large enough to accommodate a dungeon, we can put a dungeon in. So when you come back through here, and you want to play, if you wanted to play, if this is your first time or you want to expand on Light of Xaryxis, like this sleeping rock, it's heat. Maybe the Dwarven Forge is actually located inside of this as like the heart of the ship. And that's why it gives off heat, which is why the Scabbers love it so much. So we can build out each of these things that, like, these if they're at least 100 some odd feet in size, we can realistically put a dungeon inside of it. And that would be the hidden reason for why Topola loves it here, because she's slowly, we're not covering it in this adventure, but we set the stage so that when we come back, this could be a jigsaw puzzle that Topola is attempting to figure out how to fit back together to reconstruct the citadel, so that she'd have a working citadel that she could fuck around with, because she's an anthropologist. So she likes studying that stuff. But a dwarf is going to be like, oh yeah, check out our secrets. It's like, no. So she found this, and she set up shop here specifically because she found a smashed dwarven citadel, and she wants to research it. So that's the hidden stuff that's happening here. But we're not ready for that yet. This will be later on in the year that we'll be able to do that. We already have a lot of projects, but like this will be that'll be a fun Saturday morning workbench project for us to do. Number 5, unusual lichen. Small unusual fish for scavengers to feed upon are drawn to this moss for easy nutrients. If Big Mama is found here, she's chasing schools of unusual fish and can be surprised. Knock it off. That's over here. There we go. Lichen is up here. And then 6 is Space Eel Colony. The rocks here are homes to 3D20 space eels that scavengers attempt to catch out of stone crevices. If Big Mama is found here, she has taken 25 HP, 25 hit points of damage from bashing her face against the rocks. 25 HP damage. No, she's taken 25. If Big Mama is found here, she has taken 25 damage from... I worded that right. She has taken 25 damage from bashing her face against the rocks. There you go. So number 6. That, I believe... Where is that? Why am I chasing this is? There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put it there. Put it there. One, 2. You know what? I should resort these. I'm going to switch Slumbering Rock with Lichen. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Nice spiral. Feels like spirals. It's what we do. Works for color and black and white. I lament not putting the color map into the book, but it just feels like it'd be unbalancing. It would literally be the only map we're using in the book that would have a color background. Color stones, though. We do use color stones consistently throughout the book. That's not bad. That's got decent presence. Let's give that a go. And if we don't like that, we can just blip out the color. Blip. But we've been using colored stones throughout the entire document in the different demonstration stuff. White background, colored rocks. Maybe it's maybe that's not the right way to do it, but it's where my gut's taking us right now. Boy, there's a lot of map we do not need. So let's save this. Save as document. Mama Hunt. I'm gonna make this a P, and I'm gonna make this a PNG or a TIFF. Saving. Waiting on it. Come on, baby. I need you to be safe for me to import it. How are you not done yet? Jesus Christ, dude. Thank you. File, open. Go with like that. What I don't like is that production, I think more when I'm doing production as opposed to hello. I think more when I'm doing production work like this as opposed to when I'm doing creative stuff. When I'm doing creative stuff, I can just turn off my brain and just let it run and play. But this is production, which means Phil has to thinky, which is super sad. We want transform selection. Thank you. We doing okay over here, buddy? Yeah. Transform selection. So all I can do is just talk fleetingly about whatever task it is that I'm on right now. But this is why I like to, which is why I've been, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. Image. Crop. There. Save. And you'll finish saving in a moment, right? Eventually. Just grab all of this while it's saving itself. Whoop. So I think after today, I'm going to switch back over to doing field work, which is to say all the gap fill stuff, like all the space bubbles and cloudy stuff and flares that are in the corners and the blank spaces throughout the document. That's at least something creative that I can do and preferably turn my brain the fuck off, so that oops, make sure this guy's intact. Yeah. Cut that out. There we go. Drop this in instead. See, if this was to be a color map, I would think that it would be it would have far less. It'd be much more difficult for the DM to see exactly what the hell it is that we're trying to do here. So I think this is just the best version that we can do. Like, this is pretty crisp, but it's also very small on the page. So getting the full color asset in the zip folder, I think, is just going to be beneficial. I need to clean up these edges. God damn it, I keep falling short. Let's just do it this way. But yeah, this is the nitty gritty of it. This is the production side of the artwork that is far less glamorous and much more obnoxious. Ironically, it's really valuable for me to do this stuff on stream, because one of the things that stream helps me combat is procrastination. So by doing this on stream, it helps lock in. I'm getting it done. I'm at least making progress every day, moving things forward. But it makes for horrible viewing. So it's the production work like this is the least popular content that I've produced to date. So, but it's a vital part of the process to get all this shit done, so we can push out a final product. Alas, earwax. Checking my borders. Look pretty good. There. I'm gonna line that up with the edge here, which means we might be able to make it a little bit bigger. There. Perfect. See, the numbers are the same size as the text, so if you can read the text, you can read the numbers. That was important. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty good. So we have, is this page done? Yep, there you go. Okay, so this is where Topola is at. Bop, bop. We can lock this page. We can go over here to Topola's Tower. So replacement text blurb. That's really faint. I'm going to have to change the color on these text box blurbs. I think to something darker. That's a 225 grayscale. See up here. It's 225. 232, 232, 232. We need to drop that down probably to like 215, maybe. We got to redo that. It looks okay-ish. It looks good here. See, it looks okay here, but this background is faded more than it should be. And I didn't take that into account. Like, this is the actual dark, background color, but it's faded here because it's allocated as a background, so, or as a watermark. And watermarks appear in the formatting here is faded. It's not until you actually drop it into a PDF do you get the rich saturation and full depth of the border, as well as the background color on the page. So I wasn't taking that into account when I went ahead with this as my background color. But in actuality, we're probably going to go with so we can go with fill, we can go with colors. See, it's 225 currently, but like if I drop it down to 215, that would probably work. So I'm going to monkey with that on my own off screen, because that's more technical work of me bouncing back and forth inside the document into the PSD, from Word into Photoshop and back and forth to calibrate that so it looks like what I want it to, which isn't a good use of my time right now. A lot of this stuff I'm going to be able, like I said, a lot of this stuff I'll be able to do off screen once the conversion guide for Light of Xaryxis, the last 3 pages are finished. We'll be able to do a lot of this trussing work in the background off screen. There are 8 100-foot Kandari and 22 50-foot Kandari. A 100-foot or 4 50-foot Kandaris can tow the second wind. I want to... I want to get this off of the bottom here. Indicates. I don't see it though. I think I'm gonna have to leave it. All right, cool. So that's where we're at right now, and let's just keep moving forward. So the only thing, let's see, Topolus Tower, that's resolved. So the center of the map is area 1. Oh, that's right. We were walking through the actual adventure. Topolus Tower, replacement blurb. So ahead there appears to be a loose field of small asteroids calmly suspended in wild space like a disc. They orbit a crooked tower perched atop a small asteroid, all surrounded by a cloud of twinkling cosmic dust. Dark, sleek, unusual. There's too much space there. Dark, sleek, unusual creatures dart between the drifting stones along the edges of the field. Through his spyglass, Crux examines the rock upon which the tower stands and the decrepit wooden pier that juts from one side of it. We've arrived. To enhance the Omama challenge below, the tower has been placed in an asteroid field to create points of interest and lurking spots for scabbers hunting creatures among the rocks and around the tower. The asteroid field provides a large air envelope surrounding the entire field. Lichen and other plants growing throughout the location provide abundant air for Topola and guests to breathe indefinitely, while also providing abundant life for scabbers to hunt. If the characters piloted or towed the second wind here, Topola invites them to tour her home while the group makes repairs with the help of Topola's autonomes, using the mending rituals to repair 64 hit points per day. If the characters rode Kandori to the tower and keep them hitched to the dock or vessel, they can escape with a successful DC 13 strength check if frightened, and DC 18 if the characters anchor them to a 200-foot asteroid. So, obtaining Topola's help, since Spelljammer's combat and exploration assumes an orrery is part of a functioning Spelljammer. So, you go to Topola's tower to get an orrery to guide you to Doom Space. That's how it's written in Light of Xaryxis. So everything that we write here is overriding the sections that are in the book. And so obtaining Topola's help, since SCE assumes that you have an orrery as part of the Spelljamming Helm, if the second wind or either jolly boat survive the Regar battle above, The crew doesn't need the orrery that Topola offers in exchange for hunting Big Mama as described in the adventure. Instead, the characters need to gain familiarity with both Doomspace and Xaryxis space to expedite travel through the Astral Sea, since none of the crew have been to either system. Topola can help the characters if they are willing to help her with a pesky fish. So, chatting with Topola. This is a section that we created. The character can gain some familiarity with both Doomspace and Xaryxis space automatically, DC 1, by spending time with Topola. Topola has been to Doomspace once, but can only provide a description of Xaryxis space. After 3 days chatting, the characters have a familiarity with Doomspace of having viewed it once, reducing travel time to 12 days. After 1 or 1d4 days chatting, the characters have a description of Xaryxis space, reducing time to 20 or 40-12 days. While Locke's Light of Xaryxis states that Topola has dozens of system maps, this guide assumes she also has maps for both Doomspace and Xaryxis space that she can copy for the characters while chatting. So there you go. So that gives you everything that you need to be able to leave this location and continue on with the adventure all the way to the end of the adventure, even if the team bungles everything else along the way. So we're dummy proofing the adventure from itself, so you don't create bottlenecks that require you to succeed at certain tasks to be able to move forward with the adventure. This is allowing you to override all that stuff so that your fail condition is more time, and everything from here forward, one of the rewards that you get is gaining alliance with another NPC that can get you to where you want to go faster than what Topola is capable of providing herself. So here's the actual encounter. So then, as detailed in Light of Xaryxis, Topola asks the characters to hunt Big Mama. If they agree, use the 50-foot scale map depicted below, which we have provided in this hammy-dammy document. The center of the map is Area 1, where Topola's tower is located. Each marked Area 1 to 6 in the map are locations where Big Mama has previously been sighted while skulking about the asteroid fields. So we're making this one number 2. And we're making number 2 number 6. We already walked through the penalties and stuff that you go along with. So spotting which watch she's at is important. So if the characters arrive with Kandori and have kept them hitched to Topola's tower, the scaver will instead visit every D4 hours. Hold on. There's chatting. Oh, okay, here we go. Watch for Big Mama. Watch for Mama. Big Mama ventures onto the map once every D6 plus 4 hours. An orrery aboard the second wind, the jolly boats, or that Topola possesses can detect Big Mama as she approaches the area with a scanning check DC 25, which is either using your intelligence or your wisdom, using investigation, intuition, or perception through the orrery, which we describe above. The scanning check is DC 25. Any character keeping watch can see Big Mama approach with a wisdom perception check. Can notice there you go. Any character keeping watch can notice Big Mama approach with a wisdom perception check DC 19. Otherwise, one of Topola's autonomes on lookout notices a scaver entering the asteroid field. Roll 1d6 and consult the table below to determine where Big Mama begins hunting. 1 through 6. Or if she shows at 6, she actually just showed up to take a nap. So if the characters arrive with Kandori and have kept them hitched to Topola's tower, the scaver will instead visit every D4 hours. If Big Mama doesn't see any humanoid creatures, it will attack the Kandori at location 1, instead of visiting a random location. If there are no Kandori present or the characters otherwise chase the scaver away from location 1, Big Mama will revisit 1d4 random location. Will visit 1d4 random locations as listed above for 1 minute each, searching for food before leaving the field to hunt elsewhere, returning later as detailed above. So conducting the actual encounter, Big Mama has been hunting Topola's asteroid field for weeks and is becoming more bold, exploring near the tower. The amount of damage Topola can deal to the Void Scaver isn't enough to scare it away for long, and the visits are becoming more frequent. As detailed above, Big Mama first attempts to attack any Kindori present after D4+1 successful bite attacks. The Scaver's appetite is sated and leaves the field, returning later to attack again as detailed above. If any characters get between Big Mama and the Kindori, the Scaver attacks the nearest target, then uses any remaining movement to charge the Space Whales. Attacking Big Mama. So we already have Big Mama inserted. So Big Mama has half cover while swimming among the rocks in the asteroid field. The characters can't attack her with siege weapons unless she can be drawn out, such as using the Kindori as bait or dealing enough damage otherwise to make her flee back into wild space where there is no cover. Characters can use the Harpoon Flingers aboard the Second Wind and Big Bluster, the little skiff that you get, or the Bludgeoning Rams mounted onto the Jolly Boats with Big Bluster and Heavy Weapon, or whatever the other one's called. Can use the Bludgeoning Rams mounted to the Jolly Boat to attack Big Mama when the Void Scaver doesn't have full cover, while dodging between the floating rocks of the asteroid fields. Clever fish. Big Mama is interested in feeding, not fighting. While hunting, she attacks any characters, creatures, or craft within reach. After D4+1 successful bite attacks, the Void Scaver's hunger is sated and flees the area. As listed in Boo's Astral Menagerie, the Void Scaver has 157 hit points. Whenever Big Mama takes 30 or more damage, she flees, heading to the next random location to avoid further attacks while continuing to hunt, crossing through the gravity plane of the asteroid field between rocks to keep hidden from ranged attacks while moving to another random location in the area. This repeats until Big Mama visits the number of locations rolled above, taking enough bites to be sated, or has taken 90 or more hit points of damage in 30 hit points increments. The Void Scaver then flees the field to hunt less dangerous territory, not returning until the next day, healed after a long rest, wary of the characters and any ships in the area it sees. If the characters force Big Mama to flee while aboard one of the Jolly Boats, a successful pilot check DC 18 will pace with the Void Scaver. If the characters use the Second Wind, the monster cannot evade pursuit. So the Void Scaver can move as fast as your fighter ships. So if you're chasing her on a fighter ship, she could potentially escape by succeeding a pursuit check, as detailed there. If you have the Second Wind, thus have a major spelljamming helm, fish can't escape. All you gotta do is chase her out of the field, and then you can skewer her and you win. So there you go. And then so if the characters succeed, Big Mama won't stop hunting the asteroid field. If the characters succeed, Big Mama won't stop hunting the asteroid field until slain. If she hasn't regurgitated the dwarf skeleton at the dwarven facade, is that a mark? What kind of letter C was that? Weird. The dwarven facade. What the fucking weird spelling is that? We're gonna do that. How about we do that? Does that trigger anything? That was weird. All right. If she hasn't regurgitated the dwarf skeleton at the dwarven facade as described in location 4, it can be found in her stomach. Otherwise, once the characters finish chatting with Topola and the Second Wind is repaired if present, proceed to the next section, Old Flame. If the characters are defeated, if the characters are unable to slay Big Mama before the Second Wind is repaired and they finish chatting with Topola, she thanks the characters for trying. Proceed to the next section, Old Flame. You could of course stay until you actually kill the fucking fish, but she doesn't require you to kill the fish, just chase it away. All right, so those are the sections. That's how it goes. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. And of course, each of these is 50-foot square. So your fighter craft, this is the size that the living ship occupies if you have it. A Kandori occupies that same size, so you need a 200-foot rock. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So you'd have to park it over here or over here to be able to keep it from floating away. Did I say a 200-foot rock? It should probably be a 100-foot rock. That's why we go over these things. Where are you at, little fish? There, 100-foot asteroid, period. So you could put the like a 100-foot Kandori here, or if you only have 50-foot Kandoris, you could put them here and here and here and here, and then have the living ship here. And if you are using fighter craft, they occupy, each fighter craft fits in a 50-foot space, as does the scaver, so you can basically chase it around, chase it from location to location as you're moving through here to here and then to here, and maybe she'll run across over here because it's just D6 points. So you're gonna have D4 points that she's interested in visiting, and you roll them D6, so it's D6, 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 and then she's out. There you go. So you're chasing around on your ship, trying to get angles on her to shoot at her, line up a shot so you can ram her. Good stuff. Fun times. Let's see. Living on the edge. Adrift. If the second wind is fit to travel after the aesthetic attack, the ship arrives within 6 hours at Topola's place to land. Since the minor helms, if the second wind is destroyed or the helm is disabled, the ship is adrift. Since minor helms can travel only 1 million miles per day, the jolly boat requires 30 days to reach Topola's tower, but the air envelope aboard the craft becomes fouled within 1 day. Fortunately, a pod of 30 I can't even ping. Hold on real quick. Cool. Fortunately, a pod of 30 Kandori passed within a few miles of the stranded characters, close enough to fly out on a jolly boat and lasso some of the unusual creatures to tow the second wind. The Kandori can travel 10 million miles per day, a 3-day journey to Topola's tower. There are 8 100-foot Kandori and 22 50-foot Kandori. A 100-foot or 4 50-foot Kandori can tow the second wind. To capture and ride a Kandori, you do a bunch of checks, and it can get pissed off and try to buck you, blah, blah, blah. So all we need to do is drop a Kandori token into here, and I think, hit save here for the PNG. And we can hit save here. Let's put the color back in. There. And hit save. There. And there are 8 100-foot Kandori, blah, blah, blah. Let's go get our critters to fish out the Kandori. Duplicate. Put it into the appendix. I like that better. It fits the curve. We're going to be back today at 1 o'clock. That doesn't tell you anything. I'll be back in 6 hours. No, it's 5 hours. I'll be back in 5 hours. It's 8 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock here in Seattle. So 1 o'clock will be 5 hours from now. We're going to be back, and we're going to continue working on the Spelljammer Eberron campaign that I'm building for my home table. We're going to be figuring out resource costs and rewards for tasks being performed. So if you think the spelljamming stuff is interesting, or you want to see how we're going to convert Eberron into a Spelljammer campaign, you are most welcome to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then tag along to see how that thing pans out. So text, lock that there, stitch that shut. Next page. The aesthetic and Hastane. So this is the adventure where we're fighting Hastane the Rieger, is duplicate, and the aesthetic. So let's duplicate that group and import that into the app. We'll look at the aesthetic and the Rieger battle more closely some point in the future. See, we built these little pockets for everything to sit in, and now they sit in it pretty damn pretty. I just love these things, man. I am so satisfied with having done all these tokens that I'm putting in here. Was part of, you can go into the full playlist here. That was back like around, God, episode 80, maybe like episode 80 through 160 maybe. Just endlessly building tokens, creature tokens, ship tokens, NPC tokens, because we're going to end up needing all of it, right? Here we are, we need all of it. We're building out the adventure now with those assets. So the assets that the tokens that we're putting into the adventure are the tokens that you're going to see. Nope, that's not the right button. Cancel. This should work. It'll take a moment to load, but it'll work. Yeah, I like investing my time in creative stuff over the technical stuff. If I spent less time on camera, I could probably get more things done in the background. But then I'd have less screen time and less interest. If there we go. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. And Rieger have the ability to create duplicates of themselves that are identical copies. So for us to distinguish one from the other, we flip it horizontally. There you go. Perfect. So you have to fight all 3 of these things at the same time. And I'll probably spend some time looking at that. Maybe this Sunday we'll spend some time looking at the action economy of Histane during the Rigger fight. That might be a fun thing to look at, like to see how those things tie together. I won't go over the details of the fight here now with you guys because there's a lot to it, and I want to keep moving forward. But like dropping these things into the page is pretty fucking fast and easy. Something I did notice though is, did I create space for Topola? No, I didn't. I need to create a pocket. I need to create a text pocket here. All right, let's see if I can do that real quick. Luckily, I have all this space down here that's empty that I was going to fill with an astral swirl. But it turns out I was stupid and I forgot to place room for Topola's token on the map here. So I need to restructure this information so that she has 8 squares worth of space opened up. So I have to push all this down. So we're going to go through that process right now and see if I can succeed. And that'll probably be the last task we do today. I know it's 8 o'clock now, but I've got a dentist appointment in a little while, so I'm not going into work right away. But I do have a hard stop at 9. So we're going to see if I can finish this dock up here real quick, drop in Topola, and move along. So let's see. The characters can gain familiarity with both Doomspace and Xaryxis Space automatically, DC 1, by spending time chatting with Topola. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once, but can only provide a description of Xaryxis Space. Have familiarity with Doomspace. The characters have the same as though having viewed it once. There. That wasn't so difficult. Let's try to do better. This is pod racing. Wow, that fit concisely. Now I have tons of room for Topola. Now, Let's see. Yeah, I think that takes care of it. We should. Conducting the encounter. Big Mama has been hunting, as detailed above. Attacking Big Mama. Clever fish. If the characters arrive at Kandori, if there are no Kandori present. Big Mama ventures onto the map. Any character, otherwise one of Topola's autonomes on lookout, notice a scatter entering the asteroid field. That would be where we would place the autonome token. We do not have the page capacity to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shit. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see. Yep, I can't. I don't see us putting the autonome token in here, so we'll just have to leave it off. Let's see. This is page 95, so we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to export interior pages, locks, 95. Let's toss 98, 97, 98 through 99, and let's go back to 95. And we'll go to options, which is this page only document, no markup, properties, or comments. Publish single page, no background. Blip. And now we hit the back button to get our background back, and we resave it. And then here. And we go back to open. Locks, 95, okay, copy all, txt, get rid of this. Good. All right. And do not save. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. almost feel like I could fit the auto. Nah, I'd be squeezing. I don't need to. I'm not so desperate to have my auto gnome crawling around inside here to inconvenience the space to do it. Tempting though. It's tempting. All right, that's all we need. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll stitch that shut again. And then here we drop down TXT. Lock that. Let's see. Big bluster, little boom. Let's go to the next page. TXT, lock, second wind, ballista, starbow, harpoon flingers, and then we have, here we go. All right. All right, we're running the NPCs, so let's just go fetch more NPCs since that's where we're at right now. I do love the auto gnome token. It's such a great little token. Alas, earwax. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Duplicate, 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 duplicate. Grab all these together so they stay the same size. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Shrink him down a little bit. So nice. That sits so perfectly. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Perfect. I feel like I should have this one. Nope, yep, that text there. That kind of bungles that. You need to have that extra space there so that the sword isn't crowding it. That sits nicely. Let's get fill algebra lined up on the bottom edge here of the text document. There. And then Crux can scoot away. What happens if we flip Starbow? Oh, that actually sits pretty nicely. Okay. So then let's unlock these. Then free transform is flip horizontal. Mr. Finch is fine. Starbow flips. That gal, always looking for a handout. Flip her. Horizontal. Cool. Now we can take the Starbow and duplicate that. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Size them like that. Let's see. Let's go to Act 3 and fish. Pardon the pun. Let's see, where is it? Part 3. Burp, burp, burp. I hear you, buddy. So Starbow acts as his own trebuchet. He's big enough that he can pick up and throw stones. Trents are size huge creatures, occupying a 3x3 space at the 5-foot scale. So too do trebuchet occupy 3x3 spaces at the 5-foot scale. So what this allows us to, waiting for it. Nope. Should be in here somewhere. Oh, I guess I didn't. All right, I thought I'd put in weapons and stuff somewhere. I feel like I had. Now I just feel like I'm going crazy. All right, who cares? We've got the left-hand side here. We have the living ship that we can just grab, duplicate here. There. I don't think we need anything else. Fudge. All right, that's not going to be useful to us. Let's go to the... We'll Open recent. Let's go to the ship grid and grab the living ship from the ship grid. Duplicate that group. Appendix 2. Oh, that got weird shaped. Perfect. Move that to there. Perfect. We can afford to. Yeah. Open. Be here anymore. See, this stuff isn't very exciting to watch, is it? When we come back tomorrow and do more of this stuff, we'll do more astral bubbles and blurble stuff in the bottom, more creatively inspired stuff. But we needed to spend some time here today now, you know, doing this because this is the task that we're on right now, whether we like it or not. I don't have anything going on here. Now, where the fuck? Is this just a page? Yeah, this is just a page 2. God, I swear I filled out details. God, I feel like I'm going mad. Interior pages. Done. No. Combat. Where is it? Weapons and shit. I think are around page 30. Let's see if I'm right. I was totally right. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, so we need a ballista. We need a ballista and a harpoon flinger. Perfect. So duplicate and take that to app, and then stitch that up, and then here, gear. Sure, new one. Let's make a new one. Why not? Then harpoon flinger. Ballista. Oh no, yeah, we didn't have the... We're not using grids for the weapons. Maybe we should. Considering this is the first time we're actually putting it in one of them. Let's go with that. Let's go ahead and put the weapon in with that. Are we looking at the same size? No, we're not. Are we looking at the same size here? No, we're not. So we should be... Transform. Perfect. A little crowded. A little crowded. Let's get it uncrowdy. Transform. Still, huh? Thank you. There. Alright, so those are too big. We need to make them a little smaller. Or we could space it out a little bit more. No, I don't think I want to space it out more. Let's just make it a little smaller. There, and then ballista is supposed to be here, which means we need to shrink down the ship a little bit. There you go. That feels pretty good. Evenly space that. There. Okay, so you have the ship, you have the weapons on each ship, and then you have the characters that can take actions on each ship. And it just so happens that Starbow is not only an NPC that can take actions, but is also one of the actions it can take is as a trebuchet. So super useful. But that is all we need for this page. Though I do want to add an astral splash down here since we have the space to accommodate it. Yeah. Yeah, and there is no crew. It's just these characters plus your characters. Which is fine because there's only one ballista. So Mr. Finch works the ballista as a... Okay, so as a second rank as a Theurgy Explorer working a ballista by himself, it takes 3, and its normal reload score is 3, and it takes 3 creatures to man it. So if Mr. Finch is at it, it goes from 3, and then because there's only one Mr. Finch, it goes from 3 to 5, and then his second rank drops at 2, so that puts it back at 3. And then if a character is adjacent to or occupying the space of the ballista while issuing commands to the ballista crew, the character can be included as part of the crew, so that drops the reload score for the ballista to 2. So that would be the character using their own action economy to order while helping move the equipment and make it happen with Mr. Finch. So the ballista can be reduced down to a 2. Starbow can automatically attack once per round. Harpoon Flinger only has a reload score of 1, so any character that's at a Harpoon Flinger can use that, and that comes in handy against the Rigger battle. So that stitches this. It's not stitched shut yet because we still have to do here. We have this resolved. So when we come back tomorrow, I'm going to put an Astral Splash down here, and then we can drop in the... I might drop in the Jolly Boats on my own. We'll see what's going on. We can drop, yeah, we can drop the Jolly Boats in here. So we'll put in the boats, and little boom, Harpoon Flinger. Skiffs is a squadron. We'll have to make a little squadron token. There you go. All right, so that's what we're going to do today, guys. I'm going to bounce out of here. I'll be back in 4.5 hours to work on the Spelljammer Eberron campaign development for the Asteroid Mining Guild campaign. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. This is how rubber meets the road. This is the grindy monotony of actual page layout and design. Like it's not creative, it's structural. So it feels more like production than artwork. But at this stage, this is like rendering detail. You know, it's just there's some monotony. Anyway, so that's what I got going on. I will catch you guys later on today. Have a fun time. We'll see you soon. Laters.